Alright guys, here we are with the Arcade1Up CES 2021. They just announced 7 cabinets on the Arcade1Up, so we have a lot to go through, a lot to dive into, as you guys are seeing here. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so here we are with the Arcade1Up cabinets that they just announced at CES 2021. There's definitely one that I'm really excited about, a couple of ones that I'm excited about, and then a couple of ones that I probably won't buy just because they don't fit my needs. So let's start off right at the top. Let's go with what they're showing us. We got the X-Men 4-player arcade cabinet here. And I know a lot of people, wanted this to be the 6-player cab, but because that's what the original X-Men one was. It was 6 players. But this cabinet still looks good either way, and I understand why they only did 4 players. I mean, the 6-player cabinet would be huge if they took that on. So this is the art style of what the X-Men cabinet is going to look like. You can see here the games that it's going to come with, which is also another good talking point too, because it says, let's see, where's the listing of games? Oh, right here. The classic Captain America and the Adventures in Galactic Storm are both included. And this one's interesting because this was actually done by Data East, which is, basically this is the first cabinet, with the 3 games that are being included that they're actually, like, combining, some of the games with different licensors, which they always said is a real pain to get one license, person who owns a certain game to, be okay with being mixed with another licensor. So, interesting that this is the first time that we're seeing licenses being mixed up by different companies, which is, interesting in itself. So you can see here the 4-player cabinet with X-Men. A lot of people have been clamoring for this one. For me personally, I don't have an infinite amount of room in my house, of course, and I have the NBA Jam cabinet, so that is probably going to be the one I'm going to stick with. I have the Marvel 2-player cabinet that I have already, which I'm actually in the process of modding, which I'll be doing a separate video on. To add more games to it, so we'll see how that goes. But I don't think this is what I'll be getting, even though it is cool that it is going to have internet, local Wi-Fi, so you will be able to play this game, with other people online. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do is, since it has local Wi-Fi, is if, even though you can't play 6 players on one cabinet, if the game will let you play 6 players, 4 persons on one cabinet and 2 persons from somewhere else playing, and then you still have 6 people playing, but they haven't really said specifically. But the fact that it says 4-player and it doesn't mention 6 players online, I would assume that it's just going to be 4 players in general, but we'll never know. We'll see. So that's the first cabinet that they announced, the X-Men 4-player cabinet that I know a lot of people are excited about. The next one that they announced is obviously one that a lot of people already kind of knew about. It was long rumored that they were working on it, and that is Dragon's Lair. Now, this one interests me because they're actually doing something different, which is what I always look for in these arcade machines, being somebody who's coming from the fact that he has a few Arcade1Up machines already, and I have a gigantic machine already from Rec Room Masters that already plays, a lot of these games. So they're going to have to stick out for me for Arcade1Up for me to actually want to get their cabinet. And this one sticks out because this is true to form, where it actually has that LCD screen at the top, player 1, player 2, where it actually has the current amount of lives you have, how many credits you have. So it gives it like a little LCD screen here to actually be able to, give it that, what the original cabinet looked like. And that is, of course, the original layout of the cabinet. If you guys are fans of Dragon's Lair, I think this will make a lot of people really happy. And I also like the shape of this cabinet because this is obviously a different shape than what most arcade machines are like. So this is an up in the air for me to see if this is something I add into the arcade room or not, even though I have Dragon's Lair already in my main machine. This gives it, that standout look of the arcade machine, of it being like the actual form, has that LCD screen at the top that really lends itself. So we'll see. And they add and this coin door, by the way, is not an actual coin door. It's just for, an effect. So, yeah, that was Dragon's Lair that they announced. And the one that comes with this one as well is Dragon's Lair 2, Time Warp, and Space Ace as well. And from what I saw, is it on the main page here? Yeah, the Space Ace one is actually going to release in the exact same form, but just obviously the artwork of Space Ace instead. So you can choose whichever one, meant more to you, whether it be Space Ace or Dragon's Lair. The next one that we're here to talk about is Killer Instinct. Now, man, people are probably really excited about this one because Killer Instinct is a game that everyone's been looking forward to, and they've been clamoring for this ever since Arcade1Up even first started making cabinets. And that's going to come with Killer Instinct 2 and yes, Battletoads, and the Battletoads slash Dragon Double Dragon game as a bonus game, which was only released on consoles. It was never in the arcades. Also going to be cool because it's going to feature live connectivity to take on your opponents. So that again gives it something different than you can't do on these all-in-one main machines and stuff. That this will actually be online internet connected. So Killer Instinct, guys, and I know a lot of people have already been asking, with the look of this, is like, oh, they're not going to be using the SNES version, right? Because people, I guess, are afraid that Killer Instinct is not going to be the actual arcade port, but they'll go and use the SNES port. Well, by this picture here that they're showing on the screen, that is not the NES or the SNES port in any stretch. That is definitely the arcade game that's running there. So I'm sure they're going to do it correctly, and they're going to use that, and that's a really big clue right there that they are going to be using that arcade game for sure. The next cabinet that we have that they talked about here is the Atari Legacy Edition. They started this legacy trend on these cabinets here. And another one that has a really, really unique look that makes me excited to think about, hey, do I want to add this to the cabinet? And this is a 12-in-1. So this is going to come with 12 different games, as you can see here. A dozen Atari's games packed inside. And that's Asteroid, Centipede, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Arcade, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Crystal Castles, Tempest, Millipede, Gravitor, Liberator, and Asteroids Deluxe, and Space Duel. All included. Switch up to any of the included games at will. And they have, like I said, 12 games in there. Of course, this is not online connected, but you can see here what the actual arcade machine is going to look like. And I really, really like the look of this one. Like I said, another machine that kind of stands out with the shape of the actual machine. And really, really nice artwork in here. Hopefully they actually add... the spinners are obviously going to be better than the first version that they made when they made that 12-in-1 back in the day. I'm sure they learned their lesson there. But you got the trackball there in the middle. You got the 3 buttons there in front. And then, of course, the dial there. So excited to see this cabinet in action. This is another one of the maybes for me if I'm actually going to end up getting this cabinet or not. We'll see. We'll see about this one. And here's a little video we'll play just so you guys get an idea. Okay, so you can see the artwork there in the video. You can see the control deck there with the spinner and the trackball. There's that custom riser that they're talking about. Little coin door, like I said, that is fake. It's not something you can actually open, but it adds some good effect to it, which I'm glad that they're doing. So that's cool. And of course, luckily, they're still doing that light up marquee stuff. So yeah, that is what that cabinet looks like. I'm excited for that one, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I have to make decisions because not every game's going to fit in my house because I don't have an infinite amount of room. But this one's definitely on the maybe list for me, for sure. The next one, also going into that legacy, going back into the legacy, is Pac-Man. And you can see that this is also a one that has a dozen games in one. If you guys are familiar with the cocktail cabinet that they came out with for Pac-Man, this is basically, I think, the exact same games that were on that cocktail machine. Pac-Man, Pac-Land, Pac-Man Plus, Super Pac-Man, Pac-and-Pow, Pac-Mania, Galaxian, Galaga, Dig Dug 2, Mappy, and Rompers. I'm pretty sure all these games were on the Rompers. I'm not sure about, but every other game is definitely on the cocktail cabinet. So this one's definitely going to be a no for me because if I do end up getting a cocktail cabinet, which I'm still debating on, it's going to be this Pac-Man version. So I definitely won't be getting this one. But for those of you guys who are looking for something stand-up instead of the cocktail cabinet for a 12-in-1 Pac-Man, this definitely fits the bill of how this looks like. I did a good job here, if you can see from the screenshots here. Again, with that coin door there and the artwork there on the side. And I do like the custom riser there. So let's go ahead and play this quick video as well. Just to show you guys a closer look at that. As you can see what that looks like there with the artwork, with the controls there, that custom riser. I do like the way that that looks. And of course that light up marquee that we all want on our machines. So that's basically that video there. If you go back now to the next classic Legacy, or sorry, not Classic, Legacy, which is the three of them that we just talked about. Here is the Street Fighter 2 one. So this again is a 12-in-1, and it is exactly the same game lineup as the cocktail cabinet that they released earlier for the Street Fighter. So if you didn't like the cocktail and you wanted to stand up, this is your chance. You got Street Fighter 2, the World Warriors, Turbo Hyper Fighting, original Street Fighters, Darkstalkers, Commando, Final Fight, Ghost and Goblins, Strider, 1944 Loop Master, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, and Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So, and the cabinet, has that nice artwork there on the bottom again with that custom artwork, and the new look. So I do like the art style of this cabinet as far as the Street Fighter series goes. But again, for me, I don't even think, these Legacy, all the Legacy ones that we just showed don't have any online play, unfortunately. So this Street Fighter cabinet does not mention online play in any way. So definitely going to be another skip for me because I can play these games already on my big machine. But cool for those of you guys who want the Street Fighter artwork, of course. And, it looks like they're doing a good job with how it actually looks. And now having 12 games included is, of course, good. I wish that they did, online play on that because that would make it stand out for those of us who already have it. So it's unfortunate that they didn't do that with these cabinets here with the Legacy editions, that there's no online play like the Killer Instinct cab does. But still cool for those that are looking for this and didn't want the cabinet that they released before for the cocktail cabinet. Now they have a way to get that cabinet in this form instead. Showing off the light up marquee there again. And this is what Street Fighter was one of the original cabinets that they made, so I don't even think back in the day it had the light, it didn't have the standard stuff that it does now, like the light up marquee and the riser and stuff included. So cool stuff there for those who are looking for the Street Fighter cabinet. And the last one we're going to be talking about, I saved the best for last because, guys, I'm really excited about this one. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But this is the most exciting announcement to me because, as I talked about already, I'm looking for Arcade1Up machines that are different. I want them to do something different with the Arcade1Up machines because I want them. I want to be able to see what they're coming up with next, and I want something different in my machine because, as I've said already, I have a main machine, so I'm always looking for things that are different to my machines. Those are the machines from Arcade1Up I add to my collection, something that's going to give me something different, whether it be online play, specific controls like the Star Wars machine and stuff. And this one, I don't. First of all, my machine's only a 2-player machine for the main cabinet, not 4, so that's already a standout. And I don't have 4 spinners on mine, so I can't wait for this machine, guys. Let's talk about the games that are included here. So we got 8 Atari classics. We got Pong. Of course, it's not 4 players. Some of these are 4 players. Some of them are 2. Quadra Pong, Pong doubles. Warlords, which is exactly why I want this machine, because Warlords is one of my favorite 4-player games ever on the arcade side. Pong Sports, Circus Atari, Tempest, Super Breakout. I can't wait to play these games, guys. So this is a table for 4. They're calling it the pub table, which is exactly what it should be called. And I'm hoping that they do more of these pub tables, maybe another unique design. So they're starting off with this spinner one, as you can see here. So everyone's got a spinner on each corner. This is probably how you play Pong. So it's got a couple of extra buttons for these players because, like I said, some of the games are 2-player, some of the games are 4, and the games that are 4-player only need 1 extra button besides the spinner. So you can see what that looks like there. It seems like the height is the perfect height for what these machines should be doing. And like I said, I'm really excited. This is definitely going to be an instant buy for me. Out of all the cabinets that they announced, this is the only one for me that's an instant buy for me, because this is going to be a machine that I don't have. I can't get this experience out of any of the machines that I currently have, and this is going to be fantastic. And I'm really, really excited about this one. I love when they're doing, special, unique things that they haven't done before. Just like for those of you guys who haven't seen, that they gave some more information today about the Infinity Game Table, which I've done a completely separate video on if you want to see that on my channel. But it's basically them making a board game table with an LCD. So it's a 24-inch and a 32-inch LCD screen, and you can see here that they partner with Hasbro, they partner with Asmodee, and they're going to be doing some games, a board game table, and I'm really excited about that because there's nothing like that I have in my house. I don't have anything like that as of right now in the home, and this is going to give a different experience to be able to have a table out there when people come over and be able to play these classic games, or like Ticket to Ride or Pandemic that they've announced for the table already. And I'm excited. And this is a 24-inch that you're looking at now. They are going to have a 32-inch that basically goes almost across the whole entire table. So I'm really excited. And this comes out, you know, they had a Kickstarter, and this is supposed to come out in March. So we're not even that far away from this one. So I'm excited for this one for sure. So I'm liking when they're doing these unique things like they did with that Atari pub table, and with that one as well. So guys, some really good announcements from CES, from Arcade1Up. These are all the ones that they've announced. Of course, they usually do another event closer to E3 in the May timeframe, May-June timeframe, but they'll announce even more tables and more arcade machines that they'll be coming out with. So we look forward to that, to see what they have now. But they did a lot of good stuff, even if everything's not for me. There are some couple of ones that are on my maybe list that I'm definitely going to be checking out. And this pub table is going to be an instant buy for me, so I'm excited for that. And if you guys want to see, you know, a lot of, you know, content from me from Arcade1Up and stuff, definitely subscribe to the channel. You know, I did an Arcade1Up review on Buck Hunter already earlier this week, or earlier last week, so there's some good stuff there for you guys to check out. We'll definitely be getting a pinball machine here in a couple of weeks for the Star Wars machine, so look forward to that. So always got some good content for all my arcade fans out there, especially Arcade1Up fans. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time.